Welcome to my views and news. Some new stories for you about Ethiopia and Eritrea. Firstly, viewers, Al Fashaga has been a disputed territory between Ethiopia and Sudan. More than a year ago, Sudanese forces took advantage of the war in northern Ethiopia and took Al Fashaga, situated on Sudan-Ethiopia border. And after that, Sudanese army built bases. They deployed their military to Al Fashaga. Ethiopia objected, but Sudanese military remained in control of Al Fashaga. Now, new reports are coming in about the withdrawal of Sudanese military from Al Fashaga. Details for you. Secondly, IGAD, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, is a regional bloc which has appointed 3 African presidents to mediate between Hamati and Al-Burhan. Where is Ethiopia? Where is Eritrea? Did they attend IGAD's meeting? 3 days ago, IGAD held a meeting. Regional leaders participated. Ethiopia is a member of IGAD. Eritrea was a member, then it suspended its membership. Though last month, Eritrea showed its willingness to rejoin IGAD. I have seen pictures of IGAD meeting. I could not confirm the presence of Eritrean and Ethiopian representatives there. And did Eritrea issue any statement about Sudan war since the start of this war around 5 days ago? And thirdly, viewers, last year Al-Shabab fighters entered Ethiopia. They tried to gain a foothold in Ethiopia for several days. There was fighting in the Somali region of Ethiopia between Somali Special Forces and Al-Shabab members. In that confrontation and in the confrontation after that in Somalia, Ethiopia border areas, Ethiopia claimed to have killed a top Al-Shabab leader. The claim was made by Ethiopian government officially, but the Al-Shabab commander appeared in social media around 48 hours ago. Firstly, viewers, Al Fashaga, a fertile strip of land on Sudan-Ethiopia border, has been under the control of Ethiopian farmers for around 2 decades. Internationally, Al Fashaga is part of Sudan. And Sudanese government have been trying to retake Al Fashaga. Mostly farmers from the Amhara region were harvesting, they were cultivating land of Al Fashaga, fertile land. When the war broke out in northern Ethiopia in November 2020, Sudan and Amhara forces, Ethiopian federal forces, all were involved in the offensive against Tigray forces. So Sudanese government got opportunity. Sudanese forces retook 95% of Al Fashaga. Roads were built linking Al Fashaga with other Sudanese territories. Sudanese military camps were established there. Ethiopia objected, Amhara farmers objected, but Sudan said it was owner of Al Fashaga. And since then, we've been seeing tensions on Sudan-Ethiopia border. Sudan-Ethiopia border is not demarcated. And then we saw that Ethiopian government, Amharian government, they accused Sudan of harboring opposition fighters, Tigray, Oromo, Gomaz, Ago fighters. And from Sudan, we saw that through Al Fashaga and near Al Fashaga, Tigray fighters tried to organize and they tried to enter, they tried to launch an offensive on Ethiopian military Amhara forces in Volkayt last year. The offensive did not succeed. So tensions remained there. Now, it is being confirmed that Sudanese army deployed to Al Fashaga is withdrawing. Why? Because we are seeing that in the capital city of Sudan, Khartoum, fighting going on for around 5 days now. RSF's main push in the war is towards Khartoum. RSF, Rapid Support Forces, want to take control of strategic sites in Khartoum. So that is why army units Military deployments from across the Sudan are being sent to capital city Khartoum. And reportedly from Al Fashaga, Sudanese military is withdrawing to be deployed to near Khartoum or towards western Sudan reportedly. Let's see what happens. Will Ethiopian forces try to retake Al Fashaga? Sudan retook Al Fashaga when Ethiopia was busy in Tigray. Now Sudanese military is busy in Khartoum, in the parts of Sudan. And it has been confirmed that large number of Sudanese military officials have left Al Fashaga. I personally don't think that Ethiopia would like to open a new front, because any attempt by Ethiopian military to retake Al Fashaga will lead to escalation on Sudan-Ethiopia border. This time, Ethiopia is focused on completing the fourth filling of the dam, GERD, which could start in coming months. So before that, I don't think Ethiopia would like to open a new front on Ethiopia-Sudan border. And Al Fashaga was mainly being used by farmers from the Amhara region. And these days, Amhara federal government relations are not very friendly. Groups in the Amhara region are being declared terrorist hardliners. So I don't see Ethiopian military making a move on Al Fashaga, but no one knows. Let's see. Secondly, viewers, interestingly, both countries, Ethiopia and Eritrea, were missing from a meeting of IGAD on Sudan. Around 4 days ago, 3 to 4 days ago, there was a meeting, video link conference on the situation in Sudan of IGAD, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, a regional platform with members from East Africa. I think 8 or 9 countries are members of IGAD. Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, Uganda, Sudan, South Sudan, Kenya are members of IGAD. Eritrea pulled out of IGAD years ago when there was approval for a military offensive on Somalia at IGAD. In protest, Eritrea withdrew. But last month, Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki visited Kenya. And in his talks, in his presser there with William Ruto, he said that Eritrea was willing to rejoin IGAD. So we were waiting to see the participants at IGAD meeting on Sudan. The meeting was held, video conference. It was attended by William Ruto from Kenya, Hassan Sheikh from Somalia, Djibouti's Ismail Omar was there, from South Sudan, Salva Kiir was there, from Uganda, Yoweri Museveni was there. Sudan, obviously not represented because of the war there. No one was there from Eritrea and Ethiopia. It means Eritrea has not rejoined IGAD. Why was Ethiopia missing? I am unable to understand. And was this boycott, if boycott is the right word, of IGAD meeting by Ethiopia and Eritrea was done after the two decided that they should not attend the meeting? We have seen two statements from Ethiopian government about war in Sudan. PM Abiy asked Sudanese leaders to resort to dialogue. He said there was no need of any foreign military intervention in Sudan. But Ethiopia was missing from IGAD meeting. And Eritrea is largely silent about this war. I have seen statements from all countries, from all neighboring countries. Somalia spoke, Djibouti spoke, Ethiopia issued statements, South Sudan as well. All are speaking, calling for restraint. Eritrea silent. Yemane Gebremeskel, Eritrean President Yemane Gebremeskel, Usman Saleh, no one has said a word so far, at least officially, about the ongoing war in Sudan. And people, some analysts say that Isaias Afwerki could have a hand in this war by backing Houthi. But Houthi is agreeing to a ceasefire requested by the US. And Eritrea has been resisting US influence in this region. So overall situation is very fluid in this region. It's difficult to say who is partnered with which country. Ethiopia Eritrea's boycott or their absence from IGAD meeting speaks about their alliance. They still are on board and they are in alliance on lots of issues. Though people say that Isaias Afwerki and Abiy Ahmed, they have split. Yes, there could be differences on some issues, but still they seem to be united. Last year, Al-Shabab fighters tried to enter Ethiopia. They entered Somali region of Ethiopia for days. There was fighting there. Somali special force managed to push Al-Shabab out of Somali region. There was fighting in Somalia, on Somalia-Ethiopia border. Ethiopian forces entered Somalia to push Al-Shabab away from its borders. In that confrontation, Ethiopia claimed to have killed top Al-Shabab commander Fuad Shengole. It was announced by Ethiopian military as well, if I remember correctly. But Fuad Shengole appeared in social media in a video around 48 hours ago. He is alive. Not the first time that Fuad was pronounced dead and he reappeared. So the claim made by Ethiopian military to have killed Fuad Shengole was incorrect. He is alive. Thank you for watching.